Welcome. Once again, welcome students. Today we are going to discuss about resins, especially. Resins is also connected with some flavoring agent. Volatile oil also present in them. Even we have come across this very slight discussion when we were detailedly studying about volatile oils, and here we will see what is the main uses of resin. Resins are not only for flavoring or flavoring purpose. It has many applications and it is very important also, which we are coming for the detailed study about resins. We have many drugs they have given for the task in our syllabus. So we will discuss about the general resins, what is its classification by means of its chemical nature and according to their existence, and what are the different types of sources and its applications we will be discussing, regarding which we will general, and then two drugs we will discuss about benzoin, you know very well, and which we afterwards we can Guggal is also another one resin, and apart from that there are many other resins are also available, which we will be discussed in the next class. So this class we are going to see about the general what is resins, and about the sources of resins, and about the classifications of resins and what is its applications of resins, and then we will be discussing about the benzoin and Guggal or Guggalu, which is somewhat name which is makes you to pronounce in a different manner, and it is interesting to listen. So anyhow students, you have to be listen to my lecture. Most of the time students are trying to answer my MCQs. It's all very short and precise. Once you listen to my lecture, and some of the points even I used to ask from the discussions also, so you should be aware of the lecture. You have to listen to the lecture. Suppose you have internet issue or you are not having any continuous listening to my lecture due to internet issue or any type of issues which you find in your place, so you can go for the YouTube and anytime you can listen when you have some time, please, so that it will helpful for you to know the subject and to study about the subject in detail. That's what my aim, and also it will helpful for the student. So now we will come to the resins, and we are going to see about, as I told, we are going to see about the benzoin and Guggal or Guggalu or Guggal, Guggal sometimes in the name GAL also they used to say GUL, Guggal, and it is very effective resin in various ailments, and also it's having very good effect in reduction of cholesterol, and that is bad lipophilic LDL, that is low density lipid, can also be reduced. That is what the main advantage. And benzoin, we know that benzoin, that is very commonly even in our place in Kerala and in South India, most of the place we used to use benzoin for even the churches, even in the temple, and various traditional our devotional prayers, and everywhere we are using this benzoin, I think Sambarani, and in various products are also available this one, because we have flavoring, not only flavor, and when you see that what is its application in cosmetics and how it is utilized by various preparations, you will be amazing. It is having more utilization in pharmaceutical aid and as well as in various cosmetic purposes. So now we are coming to the definition about the resins. Resins are amorphous mixtures. They can also form crystals. Actually, when it is available, it is amorphous mixtures. They looks like crystals, especially when they are recrystallized, or when they are even when you are doing for crystallization with the non-aqueous solvents, it is possible for you to get crystals, but usually the existence are amorphous mixtures of essential oil and oxygenated products of terpenes, transparent and translucent solids, semi-solid or liquid substances. Semi-solid or liquid substances. They have complex chemical nature and contains large number of carbon atoms. Resins are insoluble in water and heavier than water, that they are soluble in non-polar solvents like benzene, ether and volatile oil, fixed oil and alcohol. So you see, it's soluble in volatile oil, fixed oil and even in alcohol and other non-polar solvents. So fixed oil, when they are soluble, we can use it. When you are using hair oil, you can use some resin. They are soluble in the fixed oil, so it can be applied. And they have many antiseptic property, flavoring property, and it is protective property. And even it has sometimes, when you are applying in the forehead, it can relieve from your various pains due to the, you can say that is somewhat the sinus problems can also be solved by means of these resins when they are solubilized in fixed oils, the hair oils which you are using. So how it is advantageous, understand? So volatile oil can be, even when we are using enfluorage technique, when we are studying in the previous classes, we have discussed about the enfluorage technique, which can be used, even flowers, petals can be put in the fixed oil in the home. We can also prepare the fixed oil, flavor can be changed and it can be utilized by you for the various purposes. So that's why we are talking about this solubility. Resins are hard, non-conductor of electricity and combustible in nature. That's why we are getting fumes of flavor smoke which can be obtained, which can be given to the house in various places. We used to say in the holy places we used to use this benzoin and resins, which can be given various beautiful flavor and beautiful flavor, which can be, the fragrance can be completely changed the mentality of the person who is coming there. Devotional area, we will get concentration, we will feel more comfortable, and also you will have a positive feeling. This all are made by means of this beautiful and amazing fragrance which comes from this resins, and they soften and finally melts upon heating. In pharmaceutical applications of resins are local irritant and local cathartic. That means local cathartic means like laxative, purgative, cathartic. Cathartic is the final stage, how to evacuate the bowel and to relieve from the constipation for olden ages. There are some resins like jalap, epomia, and there are some resins which are used for anti-cancer like podophyllum. And in bronchial asthma, you can use cannabis. And for external and mild antiseptic in the form of tinctures, you can use benzoin in the form of tinctures, benzoin tinctures. Everybody will be knowing in the pharmacy, benzoin tinctures. Ointments and plasters like turpentine and colophony can be used and used in the preparation of emulsion and sustained release formulations. Colophony is also used in pharmacology when you are using the experiments, pharmacology experiments to prepare. For example, when you are using some the graph, when you want to prepare and make it strain, you are using turpentine and colophony, and sometimes you are using varnish which is obtained from the ready-made preparation, but it is contained colophony, a resin. It can be used and used in preparation of emulsion and sustained release formulations. Sustained release formulations. In your preparation of sustained release formulation also, we are using this resins. And what is the classification of resins? Depending upon the type of constituents, resins are three types. One, acid containing, ester containing, alcohol containing. What an easy interpretation. What an easy understanding for a pharmacist. You know very well acid, RCOOH, ester, RCOOR, alcohol or phenol, OH group. Then like that we can differentiate them. You see, acid resistance example, colophony containing abietic acid. Copaiba is also another resin. Copivic or oxycopivic acid. Myrrh. Myrrh is a biblically available. Myrrh, if you read Bible in Matthew 10, not Matthew 10, it is in Matthew 2, the verse 18, when you see, it is written that three kings came with a lot of golden and a fragrance to visit Jesus when Jesus born. So that time they have written myrrh is not an expensive resin, fragrance which is giving. Now it is also available. Ethiopia is the place where more production of myrrh is available. We have discussion, we have the syllabus in myrrh also, we have to come across. Myrrh is one of the costly and very expensive fragrance, which is, you see, somewhat 3,000 years back, this type of resins have been identified by human being, and it is used for not only for flavoring, it is used for various ailments, treatment of various ailments, and utilized for by the human being. And in myrrh also you can see camphoric acid. The source itself camphora. So camphoric acid in myrrh. We will study about myrrh in detail. That time we will come across this camphoric acid. And ester, RCOOR, ester enzyme, example benzoin, coniferyl benzoate. Storax contains cinnamyl cinnamate, ATE, ester. Acid means CID, alcohol means OL, NOL. You might, aldehyde means AL. Like that you might have studied in your basic chemistry. You have to remember. Always when you are studying, revise your basic chemistry. Advancing is important as well as basic is very, very important. When once a person is having a base, he can easily study and remember anytime. It's not necessary daily reading, daily studying, mug-upping is not necessary. When you have a base and having a hints in your study, It's possible for you to do miraculous thing in your examination. Resins, alcohols, example, perobalsam, peroresinol, tannol, alcoholic, guacum, resin, guac, resinol. These are the examples of classification of 3. And again it can be classified depending upon combination of other constituents present in the resin. Gum resin are in homogeneous combination of gum and resin. These are always associated with small quantities of other substances like principles, enzyme and volatile oil, etc. It may consist of 2 or more glycosidyl acid in various properties and containing traces amount of nitrogen. Example, myrrh, gum resin. Myrrh is an example. Just now we discussed about myrrh. Oleoresin. When resins are in homogeneous combination with volatile oils or oil liquids are called as oleoresin. Oleoresin. Oleo means it's oil. So they are secreted in schizogenous or lysogenous duct. We have come across this word when you study cloud. Lysogenous ducts, lysogenous oil cells. So which are present in an example, ginger, capsicum, turpentine oil. These all are oleoresin. Oleogum resin. These resins are in homogeneous combination with volatile oil and gum. Example, asafoetida. Asafoetida is having more use in medicinal and as well as food preparation. We used to use asafoetida. Very good flavoring agent also. Very good digestive substance. Very good medicinal activity and various emergency GIT tract problems are solved by asafoetida. Asafoetida. Balsam resin. Balsam. Those oleoresin which contain aromatic acid like benzoic acid, cinnamic acid are known as balsam resin. That's why benzoin is also called balsam of Tolu. Balsam of benzoin. Benzoin contain aromatic acids like cinnamic acid, benzoic acid along with oleoresins. Next, the 5th one is glycoresin. Glycoresin, glucose, that is what we can say, glucose, carbohydrates. These are made up of resins along with sugars. Example, jalap, epomia. Some resins are complex natural substances not having transpose any specific chemical property, chemically inert, and do not get hydrolyzed, are known as Racines. Few examples are asafoetida and colophony. So asafoetida and colophony can be included in this new classification of glycoresin. Already we said asafoetida is a oleogum resin. Is a oleogum resin which has oleogum resin, oleoresin, gum resin, oleogum resin, balsam resin, glycoresin. Very easy. Understand? Gum resin, oleoresin with oil, volatile oil, oleogum resin, both of them, and balsam resin, oleoresin with containing organic acids, and glycoresin with carbohydrate, sugar moiety. Example, you can say asafoetida and colophon. Very easy, very simple. These 5 we can write very clearly. Properties of resins. These are amorphous and brittle in nature. They occur in translucent hard solid form. The resin softens and finally melts upon heating. They have specific gravity ranges from 0.9 to 1.25. I should have written weight by volume or volume by weight. I did not write. 0.9 to 1.2 usually the specific gravity of resins. When burnt, they produce smoke flame. They are bad conductor of electricity. They are soluble in organic solvents like alcohol, ether and chloroform. They are insoluble in water. The resin film formed upon drying becomes hot. Drying, not dying. Drying becomes hot and transparent, which is unaffected by moisture and air. Majority of resins undergo slow atmospheric oxidation, which darkens its color and impaired solubility. Chemical test. For general resins, solubility test. Resins dissolves when heated with organic solvents like alcohol, ether or chloroform. Igniting test. It produces smoky flame upon burning. HCl test, hydrochloric acid test. Drug is treated with hydrochloric acid which forms pink color, ensures the presence of resin. Chemical test number 4, ferrichloride test. Greenish blue color develops when drug is treated with ferrichloride solution. This indicates the presence of resins. Extraction and isolation of resin. In method A, powder of resins. Extract the resin with alcohol. Filter. Concentrate. Concentrate the extract excess with water. Shake and resins get precipitate. So it's very easy, simple method for method A. Method B, powdered resins containing oleoresin. Percolate. Cold percolation can be used. The drug with non-polar solvents like acetone, chloroform, non-polar solvents. Then you can go for steam distillation or fractional distillation, which can separate oleoresin and volatile oils. Easily you can separate them. And now we are coming to discuss about our example in resin, the main example, benzoin. There are 2 types of benzoins, Siam benzoin and Sumatra benzoin. These both benzoin depends upon the place where they are collected. They are more produced in Indonesia actually. Sumatra is a district, the place where in Indonesia. Synonym for benzoin, Loban, Sumatra benzoin. Botanical source, it's a balsamic resin. Balsamic means it contains organic acid, cinnamic acid. Understand? or benzoic acid is present means then it is called balsamic resin obtained from Styrax species. In Malayalam you can see that Sambarani. So there are two types of benzoin available in market. Sumatra Benzoin, it is obtained from Styrax benzoin. Dryand is a scientist name, Styrax Parallelonurus Perkins is a scientist name. Family Styraceae. Styraceae. Siam benzoin is obtained from Styrax tonkinensis, family Styraceae. Geographical source: Sumatra benzoin is produced in trees grown in Southeastern Asia, whereas Siam benzoin found in trees grown in Thailand and Vietnam. This is the plant which has a beautiful flower and tall tree, and the flowers are looks like temple bell or a church bell. It's upside down, its shape is bell shape. You can see that. So nice to see a white flowers which is towards the ground, facing ground like this, which is showing downwards. So you can see that it's like this. Collection benzoin is an pathological resin. By means of making insertion, the resin exudates, comes outside of the bark of the stem by pathological reaction. That's why pathological resin secreted in secretory duct and secretory cells of the tree after injury, after the insertion, after the injury made by us. Fungus also takes part in the production of benzoin. In Sumatra, benzoin is obtained from cultivated trees. Seeds, how you are cultivated? Seeds are sown in rice field, and the rice plant quicker it will grow and gives production. It will be collected separately. And you can see the protection for the protection of the benzoin plant, small infant, you are growing this rice plant. Benzoin trees for 1 year, it should be given protection. After harvesting the rice, trees of benzoin are allowed to grow still. They are 7 years old. 7 years old. Collection of the resin is carried out from the trees from 7 to 20 years. As the base of the tree is made into triangular grappling wound is made at the stem, on the stem, and 40 centimeter apart from the lower wound. From the lower wound, always they used to make many wounds in the tree, the tall tree, 40 centimeter above. They used to use the wound slowly up. That is what you have to go. For up to 20 years it is possible for you to collect these resins. After about a week, yellowish, soft, sticky resins secreted, exudated, and after about 2 months it will become solidified, and solidification takes place, solidified, and it can be scraped off by means of a knife, and it can be collected. See, this picture shows how the yellowish, brownish, light brown yellowish resin which is formed after a cut or an insertion made by the injury made by the person, and after a week, and you can see now it is after a week it becomes slightly hardened, solidified, and now it is ready for scrapping. After 2 months it can be very solid, and you can scrap off, and you can remove, and you can be collected. And you see, this is what, again in the stem part, you can see how the Resins are coming, and resins after solidified hardened resins, which is also shown in the picture. I hope the students can clear and you can understand how pure and how the benzoin, the original benzoin, this is Sumatra Benzoin, and an Indonesian, how he was making the incision, climbing and also collecting. He is having a bag, a traditional bag he used to collect, and also he will make the incision for the next step. You can see how they are injured, and they will wait for a week and 2 months, it will get solidified, and then you can prepare the resin of benzoin. See, this is just a video which will give you some idea about this plant and interesting for the students to know. See the flowers, how beautiful they are, like looking like a bell of church or bell of the temple. It looks upside down. Upside down you can see that flowers, how they are. And in this plant, usually it is available in Indonesia, Thailand, and in Southeast Asian countries, and we have even in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Southern, and mostly it is present in Gujarat and in Assam. You can see these plants are there, and even it is possible for cultivation can be done. And you see these flowers, they looks like beautiful, like a bell, the church bell or the temple bell, and it's a huge plant, tall plant. Some of them are branched. In India it is branched, but most of the time you can see it is tall and length. See the base is made into an, just he is injuring in a triangular shape, and by means of the instrument, and then he keeps in the base. Actually they used to keep sometimes an injury, and then it will be collected in a vessel, and this is in the base. And afterwards, actually from 7th to 20 years you can collect. So from the base first they will collect, and afterwards they will make many injuries in the top by means of making injuries by an incision, by climbing in the tree by 40 centimeter a gap. You can see how it is collected and how it is solidified, and it can be used for various purposes. These plants, the smoke, and when you made into a burn, and the smoke which is coming from a very, very good fragrance, and it has many, many uses, and it can be used for the teeth, for brushing purpose. You can use with the tooth powder, and then you can mix it and you can use it, so that you will get strength. And also it can be added with sesame oil and poured into the ear, and so that it can relieve all the ear pains. And it, as an oil, it can be completely made in your body and relieve pains in the hair, and you can relieve from various sinus issues and various problems in children for the skin and their healthiness, brightness. Due to the flavor, they'll get a good skin. Issues can also be solved. It is, and also in the home, wherever you need, it can be easily, it will be an antiseptic as well as it will sterilize the room. And with the, and also in the face, you can use with sandal, you can mix and you can apply in the face. It's a so beautiful and nice effect in the face, skin, and it can be used this and it is used for various ailments in your skin. And there are many preparation like this is also available, and like small bottles are also available, and also in the skin diseases it can be used, applied, relief from bed sores. A person who is staying in the bed for a long time, they will be having bed sores. Bed sores can also be treated by means of this benzoin. So how, see, a wonderful preparation of benzoins are available. You see, these all are cosmetic preparations. They are applying for various cosmetic preparation, this benzoin. So it has lot of applications. And you see this first secretion. The first secretion from the base is yellow color and amorphous and not utilized in medicine. After the collection of the first exudation, new similar wounds, distance of 5 cm above the height wound are made on the stem. Second exudation takes place, which is milky, white and crystalline, and is collected. It can be used for medicinal purposes and cosmetic purposes. And in a year, process of wounds is carried out 4 times. When one side of the stem is full wounded, or wounds have been occupied, or wounds have been made by you, the process may be taken in the other side. New wounds of outside of the stem is started. Second milky exudation is the best quality and is benzoin almond. It is called benzoin almond. The second one is the best quality, which is used for medicinal purposes. Best quality is the second exudate. It's called benzoin almond. They have given a name, benzoin almond. The third and the fourth exudation are darker in color and they are inferior. All kinds of exudates, all kinds of resins which is obtained are sent to Plembag. Plembag is a city in Indonesia, comes in the area of Sumatra. There they will be, that is why Plembag collection, after collection it will be sent to the city. Mixed there a definite proposition, softened by keeping in the sun and allowed to solidify. From each tree about 10 kg of benzoin is produced every year. Every year 10 kg can be produced from a tree. What is the morphological or macroscopical characters? Macroscopical characters of the benzoin resin. There are 2. Sumatra benzoin color is grey and a greyish brown. Characteristic and aromatics flavor and taste is sweet and slightly acrid. Form is lump or tear form. Size varies size. Texture uneven. Siam benzoin rusky brown or yellowish brown. You can see the picture. Pleasant and vanilla flavor. Flavor is slightly different. And hard and brittle mass, varying size and brittle. Always whenever you are studying 2 drugs, comparingly studying difference is very important. They are asking question like what is the difference between, as I told in the last class about pale catechu and black catechu. Before that I told about fennel and coriander. Like that some of the plants are available very similar and as well as they have some differences. So similarity and differentiation is necessary for the students to study, starting from the botanical source and to microscopical and the constituents and even the application and uses and even including chemical tests is needed for any students to just to go through. It will be interesting for you to note it down and it will never forget. Even they ask individually the drug can be explained, and if they ask the differentiation can also be explained. That's why I am insisting for you to study about, compare and study if there is any drugs which are similar. Chemical constituents, it contains free balsamic acid, benzoic acid and cinnamic acid. So benzoic acid and cinnamic acid, there is a content difference is there. You can see in both Siam benzoin and Sumatra benzoin. It also contained terpenoid acid like sumaracinoic acid and Sumatra benzoin and C-racinoic acid in Siam benzoin. Siam benzoin contains esters of coniferyl benzoate 76% and other constituents are styrol, vanillin, phenyl propyl cinnamate, and Siam benzoin contains inadequate amount of cinnamic acid. So when Siam benzoin is having less amount of aromatic and that is cinnamic acid. So it does not give odor of benzaldehyde. Siam benzoin has less amount of cinnamic acid. Remember, this is very important differentiation. Even it comes to the chemical test also. So you can find out. You can write this very clearly, students. Just remember, understand. And when heated with potassium permanganate solution, the odor of benzaldehyde will come less in Siam benzoin and more in Sumatra benzoin. Why? Sumatra benzoin have plenty of cinnamic acid, but Siam benzoin has less amount of or inadequate amount of cinnamic acid. So this is also comes under a chemical test. Now you see the structure of there are only two structures and looks like a big one. No, it has only 6-membered ring structure. A phenanthrene with 2 6-member ring structure attached. Phenanthrene ring structure means 3 6-member ring structure in steroidal compound, but it is not steroid because you can see there is no steroidal ring structure. Steroid means 4 ring structure, 3 phenanthrene ring structure with an 5-member ring structure should be there. So this is not but it has a 5 6-member ring structure. And what is the difference between them? The functional groups, presence of COOH groups and presence of alcoholic and acid groups in the molecules, and the methyl group substituents are differ. That's all. The basic skeleton is same. So you can write very clearly, we can study very clearly, easily 5 6-membered ring structure as we have seen in Dioscorea. You can see that very clearly. 5 6-membered ring structure in sumaracinoic acid and cearacinoic acid. Now chemical test, you see the first test which we have discussed, differentiating Siam and the Sumatra benzoin. To 1 gram benzoin, add 5 ml of potassium permanganate. Potassium permanganate, strong oxidizing agent. You might have studied in your smaller classes. And warm it. Sumatra benzoin is produces odor of benzaldehyde because it contains more cinnamic acid. So benzaldehyde odor is more produced because of oxidation of cinnamic acid present in it. More cinnamic acid is present in Sumatra benzoin. This test is negative. This test is negative in Siam benzoin because it doesn't have, it has less amount of cinnamic acid. So the quantity of cinnamic acid is less. So there is no benzaldehyde flavor or benzaldehyde odor is not obtained by Siam benzoin. I hope it is very, very simple differentiate which we can remember. Benzoin, Siam is obtained from Styrax tonkinensis found across Thailand, Laos, Cambodia and Vietnam. Just to remember, we have already discussed about this in the previous initial slide. Take next test, take 2.5 grams of benzoin and add 10 ml of ether. Shake it well and pour few ml, 2 to 3 ml of extract into porcelain dish. Now add 2 to 3 drops of sulfuric acid into the porcelain dish. Sumatra benzoin produces deep brown color, whereas Siam benzoin produces deep purple color. So by that you can differentiate them. Take small quantity of benzoin in test tube and heat it. Cover the opening of the test tube with a glass plate and allow to cool. Crystals of cinnamic acid is observed under microscope. You can see crystals. Usually they are amorphous in powder, but you can see crystals also. The resins can give very good crystals of cinnamic acid can be obtained. Alcoholic solutions of drug produces milky white solution with water. Uses: it is used as an irritant, expectorant, diuretic and carminative. Externally it is applied as an antiseptic and protective. It also used in the form of inhalant in the treatment of upper respiratory tract infection. It is also used in tincture form. Industrially, it is used in odor fixation of incense. Odor fixation of incenses in soap, perfumes, cosmetics and other preparation. It also masks the taste of pharmaceutical preparations. It retards the rancidity, it slows down, it retards, it prevents the rancidity of fats and oils in benzolated lard preparation is an example for it. This is again, I have shown the picture which is available in the market in various types. So just I brought to you, show you. Now we will go to the Guggal. Guggal, as I told in the beginning, Guggal in Indian bedelium. Guggal, you see, Guggal. The name is new for us, but it is available in India. Every places, many places, Rajasthan, everywhere it's having. So you see, we can see Guggal, the gum Guggal, scented bedelium. Botanical source, Guggal belongs to the oleogum resin. Oleogum resin. Volatile oil gum resin. Oleogum resin. So category obtained from Commiphora vitae. Commiphora mukul. Commiphora vitae. Commiphora mukul. By making deep incision at the basal part of the stem bark, family Burseraceae. Burseraceae. Geographical source: it is small to medium sized tree, native to Africa, zone like Ethiopia, Somalia, Kenya, Zaire and Zimbabwe, and cultivated in Rajasthan, Haryana, Gujarat. In Malayalam you can say Gulgulu, Guggalu. Tamil you can say Mekshakshi or Mekshakshi, they used to say. And you can see here its fruits are like small greenish, but the plant you can see it's like a forest, dry plant. The green will go when it is older. From there you can get the resins. You see the people are collecting from the forest. This is from northern area, Rajasthan, how they are collecting, and they are used to make it to bring to the market. This is the structure of them. Just we'll go to the video and we'll have an idea about this. See, this is the bark, how the wood is injured and the incisions are made in the plant, and you are getting the resin out. The Guggal plant, you can see the plant. It's in just the plants are having in the branches. You can see sometimes itself in this part. You can see the man is touching and showing you how it is slightly yellowish. Resins are exudated And this is a small plant in the rock which you can see. It has, the branches are like this, and you can show it is on the sides. You can see in the forest, lengthy forest, where lot of plants in the forest area in Rajasthan area, we can see it's suitable for their growth, and it has more medicinal uses. And just I have taken a small video to show you. And cultivation and collection, the cultivation is mainly done by seeds and stem cutting, but seeds are more preferable. They sown well in sandy loamy soil with high amount of gypsum. pH 7 to 9 is preferable, and is up to 2 to 4 meters in height, occurs as a woody tree, and shows spines cut branches on pale yellow to brown stem. The peels of barks are silvered and you can see that is papyri. That is, the peels of bark are not silvered, silvery, shining, and papyri. To the acrid and semi-acrid zone, slopy, well-drained, highly degraded lands are most preferred for cultivation. The seeds are collected from fully developed red berries in July to September, because it is a time the variety is viability, the formation of the infant or the development from the seed will be very good from July to September. The plant are raised through nurseries bed and planted in the field after 6 months. The 25 to 30 centimeter long stem cuttings are planted in June or October, November for vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation, cutting the stem and keeping, you have to use October, November is the best. So seeds can also be used, vegetative propagation can also be used by means of cutting the stem, and you can develop plants. Propagation can be done by means of vegetative propagation also. The Racines is collected by making deep circular incision on the stem of at least 5 years old plant. From 5 years old plant, it is possible for you to take the yield. It is tapped and Guggal secreted out as yellowish white aromatic latex like matter. The average yield is about 0.5 to 1 kilogram Guggal per tree per year. And the chemical constituents, Guggal contains, Guggal our name common, but Guggal we can say the original name. Guggal contain gum 32%, essential oil 1.45%, sterols. You see the structure of sterols? Z Guggulsterone, E Guggulsterone, Z E Guggulsterone, and E Guggulsterone is very easy. You have to remember your basic knowledge which we have discussed in steroids. You see, it's sterol. Sterone, not sterol, sterone. O-N-E, double bond O. It has in the third position, steroid, you can see the steroid structure. It has A, B, C, D. What is that A, B, C, D? A, B, C is phenandrine ring structure, 6-membered ring, and a 5-membered ring. There is a 5-membered ring. So A, B, C, D, steroid ring. And why it is called Guggulsterone? O-N-E, double bond O is present in the third position of the steroidal ring structure, and In the 16th position of the steroidal ring. You can see, you can number and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16th position you can see that is double bond O. Third position there is a double bond O. And in 17th position you can see an ethylene group which is present there. Both of them are similar structure, Z guggulosterone and E guggulosterone. What is the difference? Only thing is geometrical isomerism, just the position. You see the CH3 present in the 17th position. One is in the left hand side, another is in the right hand side. Over. It's easy for you to write the structure. Please write structures whenever you are writing chemical constituents in pharmacognosy. Without chemical structure, the teachers will not give you any mark. So chemical structures are very important in natural chemistry. Please note it down. Understand? Z and E guggulosterone sugars are present like sucrose and fructose. Amino acids alpha, camphorine, cambrine, allyl, cimbrol, allyl. That means dimethyl group, allyl with double bond. And you can see flavonoids, quercetin and glucosides are also present. Ellagic acid, myricyl alcohol, aliphatic tetrols are present in them. Uses: Guggal significantly lowers the serum triglycerides and cholesterol as well as LDL, low density lipid and very large density lipid cholesterol. They are called as bad cholesterols, though it will reduce them. At the same time, it rises the level of HDL cholesterol, the good cholesterol, high density lipid. Inhibit platelet aggregation and may increase thermogenesis through stimulation of thyroid. So see that what is the natural physiological thyroid, stimulation of thyroid, potentially resulting in weight loss. Obesity can be reduced. Also, gum is astringent, anti-rheumatic, relieves pain, antiseptic, expectorant, aphrodisiac. It can be used for male. We can see for male, for any type of, for female, male it can be used. It has aphrodisiac effect, Dumelsand effect, aminogogue effect. Aminogogue is used for females who is having PCOD. Can also be given. Aminogogue induces menstruation. The resin is used in the form of lotion for indolent ulcer. Indolent ulcer means the ulcer which comes in the eye, near to the eye, in the cornea, corneal ulceration. Indolent ulcer, corneal ulcer. It usually comes in the dogs, especially after 6 years old. The dogs will get this indolent ulcer. Even human being, we used to get this ulcer near to the cornea, in the eye. And as a gargle and teeth disorders, tonsillitis, pharyngitis and ulcerated throat, can be used. Marketed product, it is one of the ingredient preparation known as Arogyavadini Gulia, which it's marketed by Dabur, which contain, it's the main ingredient, and Abana Diabicon Dicaf by Himalaya Drug Company. These are some of the products which they are come to the market. Thank you very much for being with me. Have a great day.